The hero has arrived. That's right. ADS releases a rinseless. Who would have thought? So, I thought what better way than to show you our new rinseless wash, Hero, than by going through a rinseless wash process with you. So this car is not filthy by any means, but it is very dusty and just kind of got tree crap on it and stuff like that from sitting outside for the last week and a half. It is a matte paint protection film, so kind of showcase you that with that. But I thought, what better way than to just kind of do a slow video with you guys of me rambling on about what Hero is, how it came to be, and just kind of the rinseless process. So bear with me here. I may ramble a bit, but we'll get through this, and I'll introduce you guys to our new Hero Rinseless Wash, which I think you'll come to love. So I have 256. It is standard dilutions, 256 to 1 in the bucket. I've also got 256 to 1 just filled up from the bucket in my pump sprayer, and I'm going to go ahead and pre-spray the whole vehicle. I didn't rinse this before, so we're just going to pre-spray to allow that emulsification and just get that lubrication on the surface. So I know a lot of people are going to say, because they've probably heard me and DJ talk about it, that we did say in the past we're never going to release a rinseless. We don't rinseless, and that partially that's still true. We never thought we would release a rinseless, but with the overwhelming kind of majority of people like taking on a rinseless process and just the amount of people asking for us to make a rinseless, we kind of had no choice. We really had no choice, but to kind of try to create something. So it's still something that me and DJ, are kind of on the fence about. I was more so kind of in this project and in this development process than DJ was. So I've kind of come to love Rinseless a little bit more than I have in the past. But it's not really a product that we would technically use in our business, because a lot of times we are just prepping cars and we're doing full decontaminations before polishing and paint corrections and paint protection film and ceramic coatings. So it's generally not something that we would use. And if we're maintaining, it's something where we want to see how the coating's doing for our customer. So we're going to use a traditional soap and water wash and be able to decontaminate at that point as well. So it's not, we feel kind of indifferent because it's not really a product. When we set out to make this company, we want to introduce products that we love and that we enjoy, and we know work really well. And it's kind of not really like that for Hero, but that's not a bad thing. It's just this process just, it really isn't something that we're accustomed to. We're not people that normally rinseless. So but with the overwhelming majority and kind of feedback that we got that people wanted a rinseless, we had no choice but to try to formulate one and try to come out with one, and try to come out with one that's really, really good and can be in the top 3 or 4 in the market. That was kind of our goal. And this rinseless wouldn't be here without it goes without saying, it wouldn't be here without Eddie Cologne from EC Details on YouTube. He was a big player in getting this rinseless to market and kind of telling us what a rinseless should be, because me and DJ, again, don't have that kind of experience with rinseless. I've only ever really experienced 2 rinselesses, and most of the time using those has been with for a clay lube. I've rinseless probably 5 cars in my life before this point, and it was never a process that made me fall in love with it. Now, in testing this rinseless and kind of developing one, I have fallen more in love with the process in a way that I didn't think I would. So I truly do believe in the product, and I believe there's a certain circumstance where it can be used, and there's certain circumstances where it shouldn't be used, which I believe everyone should believe about a rinseless. I don't think there's a situation, I don't think a rinseless is for every situation. You have a muddy car, you're doing a crazy decon. I still don't believe rinseless is for that. But a rinseless is great for things like this, or back when I owned my Porsche and it was mostly just sitting in the garage and I would take it out, once a week or so, I would have probably loved rinseless when I had that vehicle, because I would have just rinselessed it every time I put it back in the garage or every time I took it out, and I would have had a perfect car every single time, and it would have taken 15 minutes to go around the car. So I think that's where kind of a rinseless fits in and really does make sense. So that kind of gets that out of the way, of us kind of going back on our word and saying, oh, we'll never introduce a rinseless, and here we go, we're releasing a rinseless. So just want to kind of give a backstory on that. And then, go into, okay, so what is Hero? So Hero is in a traditional sense, a polymer and surfactant hybrid, but it's not a hybrid or a polymer, a surfactant heavy rinseless by any means. It's more of a polymer heavy rinseless, and it won't foam. So it's not a hybrid in the sense that you can put this in a foamer and it would foam, but it has those surfactants in there to aid in the cleaning power of the solution. So this will kind of take a more traditional route of rinseless, similar to say O&R and things of that nature, versus other washes like maybe McKee's, which are more surfactant heavy. So the big things we wanted to hit with Hero was obviously ease of use, cleaning power. If me and DJ were going to release a rinseless, it had to be really, really good, because we're used to soap washes, so it needed to perform in that way or similar for us. Otherwise, we would have never released it. So it had to be very, very slick, or in Eddie's terms, lubricious, and it needed to clean very, very well, which this does. So it is a very heavy cleaning, rinseless wash, and it is a very slick rinseless wash. Now, to go along with that, a lot of people, a lot of rinselesses lately that have been coming out are protection heavy as well. We didn't want that with Hero. We wanted something that would clean the surface and be very slick, but not alter whatever coating you had on the car, or wax or sealant. We wanted it to maintain that hydrophobic behavior of whatever that product was. So Hero will not leave any protection behind. Now, it is a polymer rinseless, so any sort of polymer is going to leave something behind. Any polymer rinseless is leaving something behind. The question is whether that's durable or not. So Hero contains a few different things. It does contain polymers, and it also contains silica and silica resins. But these are non-durable forms of each of these. So yes, it's going to leave something behind, I'm sure. I can barely reach the roof on this thing. So it's not going to leave crazy protection behind or anything like that. It is going to leave something behind, but it's non-durable, it's non-surface altering, so your hydrophobics are going to stay the same, and you don't have to worry about your rinseless affecting your wax, sealant, or coating, which is the nice thing, even with the silica. So a lot of people are going to question, okay, well, it has silica in it, so I shouldn't use this on my wax, or I shouldn't use this on my sealant, or I don't trust them. It's probably going to alter my, my coating. That's not the case. So Hero takes kind of from a lot of the ceramic and graphene shampoos that have come out on the market in the last few years. It takes a lot of inspiration from those. So as you know, a lot of those ceramic and graphene shampoos have been exposed because they don't leave protection behind, right? People were expecting, oh, I washed my car that doesn't have any beading, and I wash it and I rinse it, and now my car is crazy hydrophobic. And we all found out very quickly that wasn't the case. Why is that? It's because they are leaving some sort of silica resin behind, or trying to with a soap, but it's not durable, and it's not really, altering the surface tension. So it takes a lot of inspiration from there, where graphene and the shampoos are added for heavy cleaning power, and and the silica is added to shampoos for crazy slickness. That's what we did with Hero. So it takes a lot of inspiration from those and incorporates the silica into the rinseless solution for that extra slickness, because we were having issues in testing trying to compete with a lot of the rinselesses on the market that have come out with heavy protection, and they feel extremely slick because they have that advantage of leaving heavy polymer protection behind. So in order to compete with those, we had to introduce something, because we couldn't get the just traditional polymer package and surfactant package to work in that manner and leave, or not leave, have that slickness that would compete with those other products. So we introduced the silica at the last minute to kind of combat this, to basically keep all the other attributes, but increase the solution lubricity, basically. I think I've washed that. I washed the whole top. Talking is a lot harder than you think on video because you forget what you've been doing. I think I need to do this mirror. So that's what Hero is, and that's what people need to understand about Hero, because I think there's going to be a lot of confusion about what it is and what it does. But I think people are going to come to love it once they start to use it. So when I say non-durable forms of protection, like I said, you can use a panel prep, after you did a Hero wash, and you could coat right over it. The panel prep's going to completely remove anything that Hero would leave behind, or it's going to be gone within the matter of a couple days. It's nothing that you should worry about. It's going to be similar to any other polymer rinseless that's on the market. There's going to be almost no difference there. So that kind of gives you the backstory on what Hero is, and how it acts on the surface, and what Hero is all about, and what we tried to make it to be. Now, how did it get there? That's where the story gets pretty cool. So we started working on Hero about 6 months ago, and originally we did start with we were trying to incorporate a heavy protection silica, SiO2 infused wash. And we sent a sample to Eddie Cologne and said, hey, we're not the rinseless guys. We need someone to help us kind of test what we're doing here, because we really don't know what we're doing. And we're very transparent in that. With rinseless, we had no idea where to even start. So we sent it to him, and he tested it, and he came back and said, this stuff is garbage. It streaks, it doesn't clean well, it is fairly slick, but all the other attributes suck. I had to go a couple panels at a time because it was streaking and leaving spots. It was streaking his glass, and it wasn't cleaning the way it should. So that kind of discouraged us, too. So we got back to work, and we started talking to more people, and we talked to Eddie and basically said, okay, what should a rinseless wash be, for 2024? Like, what should it be? Should it be what we're trying to achieve here, or should it be something completely different? And what we gathered is people were starting to really like the foam train. People wanted rinselesses that foamed. That was like the new thing for 2023, for people to have. I'm going to move you guys to the other side so we can start over there. So that was the new thing. People wanted a foaming rinseless. So we started to go down that path. We went down the path of, okay, let's do zero protection at all, and let's work with more surfactant heavy, and let's try to get it to foam a little bit. And at first we thought it was a good idea because it would introduce more people that are maybe used to foam, like a traditional soap wash, right, into a rinseless, because it's more, it's more familiar, right? So we thought that was a good idea. We started testing it, and us and Eddie and a few other people started testing it. And number one, we probably didn't make the best foaming rinseless, but what we found is the foam, even at minimal levels, was very annoying, right? Like, just imagine you're doing a rinseless and it's got foam everywhere and you're not rinsing it after. So you're drying it and you can't dry like in the cracks and the crevices 100%. It's just never gonna happen. Unless you obviously use a blower, and then you're kind of, in my eyes, defeating the purpose of a rinseless being super quick and easy to do. So we started to realize that after 5 or 6 revisions, that the foam was pretty annoying. And I think Eddie also started to realize, like, man, I don't love these foaming rinselesses as much as I thought. It just you don't know until you know, right? You don't know until you try them a lot and you test them a lot and things like that. So it was a good thing. We learned what a rinseless should be. So we kind of went back to the drawing board and said, okay, now we know, let's stick to more the traditional route of a polymer heavy rinseless, but let's do the same thing. Minimal or no protection, very slick, high cleaning power, and just a very enjoyable experience. So that's kind of the road we led down. And in a couple revisions, we were able to nail that pretty well, just because of what all we had learned over the last 6 months of developing all the other revisions. This one came a lot easier. The biggest thing was kind of towards the end of adding, like I said, that silica to compete with some of the other rinseless washes that are on the market. So we sent Eddie a couple more versions, and we nailed down a formula that had very minimal foam in the bucket, no foam if even if you tried to foam it, and it was very, very slick. In his words, top 1 or 2. Not top 1 or 2, top 2 or 3 in terms of slickness. Very high up in ranks on cleaning power. And, we all love the fact that you could use this rinseless wash out in direct sun. You could let it dry. Obviously, the solution's going to dry and it'll leave some like white looking spots. But you could go back with a drying towel with a little drying aid and they would come right off. Even 8 hours later in the direct Florida sun, it's not going to like actually water spot. It's just leaving those kind of polymer spots and silica spots that will easily wipe away, with another solution, or even dry sometimes. So we love that aspect of it as well. So that's kind of where Hero, kind of came from, and all the revisions behind it. So I think total we're in like 11 or 12 revisions in total for Hero, and I think 3 of them were kind of this final version of similar to what we actually released of being polymer heavy, and the last revision was the revision with the silica and adding that into the solution for that extra slickness. So we had a couple people, more people test it, different climates, different styles of rinseless washing, because some people do like to go panel by panel. It's like their preference. And then some people are in, like me, direct sun, and I want to wash the whole car. I don't want to go panel by panel. I think that kind of defeats the purpose of, using a rinseless. I want to be able to go around like I would a soap and then dry it off. So we had a bunch of other people test it, and, we got very, high, marks about it. And, that is the rinseless or the Hero that, and love. And, a lot of people will ask, okay, so, why is it called Hero? It's kind of a weird name for a rinseless, right? And, honestly, the Hero, for me at least, I think we all kind of agreed on the name. It was a cool name. There's a lot of little different nuances you could get from it. But for me, the Hero for me is the fact that we were able to partner with, Eddie and get his feedback on this rinseless. Because without that, I mean, Hero would be nothing. We would have never released a rinseless if it wasn't for Eddie. So, the fact that he has all the experience and was able to tell us kind of exactly what to do, and we were able to make it work. We kind of dedicated this rinseless to him, and I kind of believe he's a hero in the auto detailing industry and kind of creator space, just what he does. And and, kind of the giveaways and how, I don't even know how to explain it, just how good of a guy he is, you know what I mean? Just how good of a person he is. He's very humble. He's always trying to help people, and to me, that's a hero, right? So, cheers to you, Eddie. If you didn't know, this is kind of named after you, and we appreciate all of your help in developing Hero Rinseless Wash and what it came to be, and I hope, the market loves it, and I hope it becomes a big hit, and if not, we'll tweak and revise and make it what it should be. So, all we've got left now, sorry if I've been heavy breathing the whole time, getting a workout here, especially with all the talking. Hopefully I didn't jibber jabber too much and I gave you guys some useful information. I don't have one of our towels, so unfortunately I'll be using a auto fiber. Not unfortunately, but I won't have our towel to show you. But I can go through and I can dry this with no drying aid because it's a very slick solution. I'm not trying to add any more protection on this car, otherwise I probably would use Amplify as drying aid, and it would work great, with Hero. There's no doubt about that. But this car was just coated and it doesn't need it. I'm just trying to get all the dust and dirt off before the customer comes to pick this car up. So it dries fantastic. You'll notice that it feels very slick while you're drying, as all rinseless washes do. You won't notice any of those spots, and if you do, hit it with a little bit of your drying aid or a little bit of the solution that's in your pump sprayer, and it'll come right off, and you won't have any hard spots or anything of that nature. So I can go through and dry this very quickly. So yeah, it's crazy to me that, we have a rinseless because, like I said, I wasn't a traditional rinseless guy, but like I said, over the last 4 or 5 months or so of making it, I really have become a rinseless guy. I think it's a good process. I think it has its place. Before I really didn't, but it's because I never took the time to, appreciate it and the time to learn the process the right way, and also just never had the right solution that, kind of checked all the boxes. Before, back in the day, you had, O&R and things like that. They were good, but it never felt slick enough for me. It never felt like it cleaned enough. And I think with Hero, we have that. And I think, just technological advances and, just the whole industry learning about rinseless, more has enabled that for us. So, a lot of other products and chemistries and raw material suppliers have kind of paved the way for us to create something that's really, really good. So that's Hero. Let me grab the bottle. I'm slacking here. So that's Hero. That's how to use Hero. That's what Hero is. That's how Hero came to be. And if you guys have any other questions about it, leave them down in the comments below. I'll answer any questions you guys have about it. And I hope you guys enjoy this stuff. I hope we get a lot of good feedback. I hope a lot of people incorporate it into their process. And I think it'll be a big hit. It's been a hit with everyone that we've talked to that has tested it and used it. And I think it should be in the top 5 rinselesses of in the whole market. And it's cool to see how many new rinselesses are coming out in 2024. I think it's a big thing. Or 2024 seems like the year of rinseless, and we kind of added into that. So there's a lot of competition. And I just think it's a cool time for rinseless washing. And I think with this amount of people or companies introducing rinseless, the industry is only going to get pushed further into producing even better rinseless washes. So I'm sure you'll see in the next few years, rinseless is going to get a whole lot better and a whole lot easier and a whole lot safer too. So But yeah, leave your comments. Let us know what you think about it, and we'll see you guys again next time. And happy detailing, and um, you know, we'll look forward to talking to you guys in the future.